Vlog number 2. It's happening! I'm so impressed by myself. I think that the vlog I just finished with will be like going up on YouTube in the next day or so that's quite nerve-wracking. I haven't posted a video in over 4 months. So I don't even want to think about it. Yeah, I just want to get back into the habit. So here we are. Before I even post that one, I want to get started on this one. So the postage of the first one doesn't deter me. And it is currently a Thursday. I am working tomorrow and then I'm going away on a camping trip Friday night after work for the weekend with some of my uni friends. So that's really exciting. I love camping. I'm so down and I will be able to get some footage of that. So I'm excited to capture some memories. I need to pack tonight. I need to go shop tonight for supplies, for food supplies, and that should be it. And then get ready for work tomorrow. But what I've been reading, because this is a reading vlog. Welcome to the reading vlog. What I'm reading right now is The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. I picked this up actually for free at like a library swap in my old apartment building. And I didn't even realize it was a book when I saw it. I was like, huh? And it's in the pink edition of these penguins, which is I love these pink editions. I had the Wuthering Heights pink edition, but unfortunately I didn't like Wuthering Heights, so I didn't keep that book. But now I have another pink penguin to replace it. So yeah, I didn't realize it was a book, but decided, wow, that must be like a children's classic or something. So picked it up, knew it would be a bit easy to read. That's what I want right now. But I also felt that I wasn't reading enough classics this year. I wanted to read more classics. So this is me getting back into classics, because Crime and Punishment is not helping with that at all. It's The Wonderful Wizard of Oz versus Crime and Punishment, and this book is winning right now because I'm really enjoying it. I'm feeling like I'm getting back into classics by reading this, which is the best. I'm already halfway through this book. On page 72, it's absolutely beautiful and so charming, this book. I am falling in love with the 3 characters that Dorothy meets along the yellow brick road. Like the Tin Man, he's so beautiful. I love him. I love the Lionel the Scarecrow as well. But this book is just everything. We're now up to the city of Oz. We've made it to the Green Emerald City, so we'll see what happens there. I don't remember too much. I remember there's a witch. Yeah, but really enjoying that. So that's the book I'm currently reading mostly. I'm also reading, as you would have seen in the previous vlog if you have watched it. I don't want to get them out. Should I get them out? Yes, I'll get them out. These are the 3 books that I've already explained this before. Yeah, essentially I have 3 different tiers for currently reading books. In my currently reading, I'll have really difficult books that I'm slowly getting through. I have middle books, which I'm picking up pretty regularly, and then I have short books, which I'm picking up on the daily. So this is a really easy book. This is the one I'm picking up daily, the one I'm gravitating towards. It's so easy to read. And then the book that's in the middle, I usually only have one middle book at one time. I'm currently reading this book, The Priory of the Orange Tree. This is an 800-page fantasy book, standalone, thank God. I do not need a series. But one standalone fantasy book is where it's at right now. I'm feeling like I really want to read some fantasy after that Murakami book I read in the last video. I therefore decided to pick this book up, and I'm clearly listening to it on audiobook because it's on my phone. So I read a bunch of it last night. I think I listened to like 2 hours of it last night. While I was playing Azul online. I love to play Azul online. I struggle with this book to say anything about it right now. I don't really know what's going on at this point. There's so many characters, so many different words. I'm essentially 2 hours into a 25-hour audiobook of it. Yeah, we'll see if I can pick up on what's going on eventually, so I can relay something to you. But at this point, yeah, it's a very long fantasy book, just world building right now, essentially. That's the middle book that I'm currently reading. And then from the last video, I did not finish any of like the difficult books I was reading at the time. These are classified as difficult books for me. In the sense that it's not like I read Crime and Punishment and I'm like, oh, this is so like my brain's hurting. It's more just, I find it difficult to find the motivation to read it. That's what I'm talking about with these books. I struggle. They're a bit more boring. They're a bit more, I feel bad. Crime and Punishment, Plato, The Last Days of Socrates, and Mythology, the non-fiction. It's not really non-fiction, it sort of is. They're all still in circulation, so that is that. And then I wanted to quickly show a couple of books, so I'll finish this book in the next couple days, and then I will pick up a new easy book to read, along with Priory of the Orange Tree. I have Notes on Grief by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She's one of my favorite authors. At this point, I really like her. I've read 2 of her non-fictions and 1 fiction book by her. Really liked all 3. Her non-fictions especially, I actually really like them. It's so weird to say, but I've essentially read the 2 non-fiction books about feminism, sort of like a short essay style, and this book is Notes on Grief. So I'm assuming it's going to be very similar in the sense of that essay style writing, but this one will be about grief rather than feminism, which I'm really excited. I am very interested in the emotion of grief. Grief is a cruel kind of education. You learn how ungentle mourning can be, how full of anger. You learn how glib condolences can feel. You learn how much grief is about language, the failure of language, and the grasping for language. That is right at the top of the list. Those are all the books that you may see me talk about in this video. My music, I've been listening to the Nostalgia Ultra non-stop, this record that I got from Frank Ocean, been loving it. I hopefully will be listening to it a bit more next week while I study. I would like it to accompany me while I study and read, so hopefully that mixtape will be popping up quite a bit. I would also like to bring out some of my other records. Could that also be something I do in this vlog? Let me put the goal out there. Show a few of your records off, Kira. Bring them out, show them off, because I have so many records. I don't have so many. I have like 150, 160. So why not see a few of them? Let's try and do that. No way. What? No way. Hello, back again. I think it's been like over a week. Should I even say that? Should I even include that in the... Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay. Don't tell me I'm getting sick again. I can't do that. My eyes are so red and watery right now because I just had a really hot shower and my eyes are super sensitive, so I'm not crying. The last week has been a little busy. I was just recovering from the camping trip and working last week mostly, and then on Saturday I threw a big party at my place. Big, I don't have that many friends, but I threw a party at my place. It was very fun. I drank a lot and I danced and I sang a lot, so I'm very exhausted. My throat sort of hurts. I still need to finish cleaning the place up, but I thought I would just take a quick video from the lounge actually right now because my housemate's really nice sofa is out here at the moment and I'll have plants, including some of mine as well. So I thought this is a cute little spot. So quickly before I clean up the place, let me update you. Mostly I have not been reading. I read at... Oh, no, wait, I did read. I just read so long ago I forgot. I literally forgot. I did read. I finished The Wizard of Oz, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. That book was so good. I can't actually handle how good that book was. I was not expecting anything. I just thought it was like a classic, so I just wanted to get it off my shelf and read it because it was short and a classic and it just seems like a book you should read. So I read it to find out that, wow, actually one of my favorite books I've ever read. I think I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. I'm going to definitely keep that on my shelf because I have this beautiful little pink penguin edition, which is like, I think in Australia they were brought out to raise money for cancer or something back in the day, for like cancer research. So yeah, I have that copy, so I'm definitely gonna keep that copy, and I just thoroughly enjoyed that book. If you're into reading children's classics, that is one of the books you should read. And I didn't even realize that myself. And then apart from that, I did actually pick up Crime and Punishment after that, and I have been reading a little bit of Crime and Punishment. Not recently, but right after The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, I did read a bit of Crime and Punishment, and I'm on page 248 right now. So I'm nearly halfway, which is really exciting. But yeah, I read about 40 or so pages of this book. The whole entire time, Raskolnikov, the main character, has been lying in a bed. So that tells you where I'm at with this book. It makes me want to go to sleep, essentially. But I'm going to keep reading it because there's so many people that have told me that it's one of their favorite books of all time, if not their favorite book of all time. So yes, I will continue on with this slog. And I really hope it's worth it in the end. The thing is, I think the writing is really good. It's just the plot right now for me. So hopefully that fixes itself, you know? I also picked up today Notes on Grief by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. This, I've already mentioned, one of my favorite authors, I believe, Adichie. I really, really like her work. She's one of the non-fiction writers, one of the very few that I actually enjoy reading. The problem with this is I'm not in the mood for it. Like, I want to read it, and it's actually only going to take me like an hour to read. But I've just really been struggling to pick it up because I don't feel like reading a book about grief. You know, not everyone's going to be in that mood every day of the week. So I also went shopping. I don't know if I got any... I did get footage. I got footage of me shopping last week with my best friend. And we went to Dimmicks and I picked up Uzumaki by Junji Ito. And this is Spiral into Horror. I'm so excited. So this is some manga horror, which I've never read. I never read any horror manga in my life. So this is going to be a blast, I reckon, because I love horror and I love manga. Put it together and really going to enjoy this. So this book I think I'm going to start today, just because if I keep trying to plod on with these other 2 books, I don't think it's going to happen. You know, I don't think I'm going to read very much, just because I'm not in the mood for them, which is okay. I'm a mood reader. So I'm really in the mood for this. So let's pick this up and read it. It was like 20 or 30% off, I think, at Dimmicks. I got this book for like pretty cheap. I got it for like $30. Really good. So yeah, I will be picking this up really soon. I'm so excited to document that process because I have no idea what to expect, except that it will probably be like literally insane. And I'm here for it. And then also you would have seen in the B-roll that I received a vinyl in the mail, a record in the mail. And it was from one of my subscribers, Victor. Thank you so much for sending this to me, Victor, because, oh my gosh, it is actually it's a record I've been looking for so long. Victor watches all my videos, so Victor knows that I've been looking for this record for a while, and it's an original pressing of Louder Than Bombs by the Smiths. Yes, please. I do not get many records ever for myself, and I don't get that many gifted to me, so this is a pretty exciting experience. When I opened this up, I was just not expecting it at all, and I think what excites me the most is, firstly, it finishes off in my head what is the Smiths collection that I want to have in my records. I have all first pressings of all the Smith records that I could ever want, except Loud and Bombs. So this finishes off the Smiths collection for me. I will leave in the top corner a video that I did ages ago about my Smiths vinyl that was gifted to me by my auntie. She loved the Smiths around my age and a bit younger than what I am right now, like in her 20s, I think. Back when the Smiths were really, like, they were coming out with music, she would go and buy all their records when they first came out. So she gifted all those to me. She passed them down. I got all this, like, original Australian pressings of all the Smiths, except this one. She didn't have this one. So I'm really, really thankful just to finish off the collection. And secondly, the reason I'm so excited is because this record's actually worth quite a lot. Like, Victor, stop. What? I feel really, really bad. But this is actually... This is actually like the 10th most valuable record I own now, because I now have all my records on Discogs, so I know what's going on. And I saw that this is number 10. I was like, oh! It's a United States original pressing, though, which is fine. I'm totally fine with that. I just wanted original pressings in all of them. That's great. Because my Smiths collection, tick. I love ticking things off the list. That is what I've been up to. I also helped build a chicken coop yesterday, if you didn't understand what was going on in that B-roll right towards the end. I was building a chicken coop. I am working literally the next 4 days. I'm working, and then I'm going away for the weekend again. Oh my gosh. Do I ever give myself a break? No, I don't. I feel like I do. I feel like I'm super lazy. For some reason, I feel like I am not doing anything with my life. But then when I actually say it all out loud, I'm like, I don't stop, actually. I'm doing things with my life constantly. I'm so busy. Hopefully this week, mostly what you'll see is me reading, because I'm just working, right? So in the evenings, what should I be doing? Reading and doing a few social activities. But yeah, I technically should be studying, but I'm not, and I'm just not going to talk about it. I'll see you in a bit. Enjoy the montage of me reading. Please, Kira, read! I love being artsy with my shots.
subscribe. Apologies for the puffy eyes, probably. I bought a book yesterday.
I got, what is this freaking book? What is this? Acts of Service by Lillian Fishman. This has a blurb from Sheila Hetty, who I read her book called Motherhood like years ago, and for some reason it stuck with me. I want to read Pure Color, I think, is the new book from Sheila Hetty as well. But for now I found this book, so I think I'm gonna give this a read. It's about a girl in her 20s not knowing what she's doing in everything. Let's give it a shot. I'm gonna give it a read. I just feel like I need something as well that's shorter, more contemporary, easy to read. I've been reading way too much dreary stuff. Notes on Grief, I finished that and I gave it a 3 stars out of 5, which is pretty good. It's 6 out of 10. So it's definitely above average. I liked it a lot. I think she's become, I think she's becoming one of my favorite authors ever, actually. I'm gonna do a video actually about my favorite authors of all time. It's funny because a lot of my favorite authors, I don't particularly give every book I read by them 5 stars, but I'm always interested to read what they write. And this is a new book by her about her father's death a couple years ago, and it's so interesting to read her previous works and then to read this new one and to like feel the difference in her voice and the way she writes. She literally mentioned it at the end of the book how like she feels like she writes differently now, and I could totally pick that up, and I find that so interesting, that type of stuff. So that book is a book I'll be returning to, I think, throughout my life. I'd like to keep that on my shelf, even though it's a 3 out of 5, just because I think I might get more out of it later. I just feel that I need something more light in my reading stack. As always, I always feel like that. I think most of the books on my shelf that I want to read are way too dreary and dark. So I am reading that Spirals book, Uzumaki by Junji Ito, and it's actually relatively good. I think I'm enjoying it, but it's just that everything I'm reading is so dark at the moment. Everyone's just dying. It's so sad. So I want to read a book that doesn't feature death in it. That is the plan. Acts of Service, here we come. That's it. That's my reading updates. I have just been going to a lot of gardens and walking around, which has been fun. And just played a bit of piano because there's a piano here. And I don't get to play piano very often, so I'm very rusty. Sorry if you heard any of it and you're actually a pianist, because you probably were just judging how rusty I was. It's been years. But I would love to eventually own a piano. We'll just be reading this afternoon, I believe. I'm leaving back for Melbourne tomorrow as well, FYI. But I got another day here. Let's enjoy. Oh my gosh! It's so cute. Firstly, apologies for any of the banging that you hear. Our above neighbours really like to renovate. It's one of their favourite things to do. Wow, I don't even know. The last time I talked to you, I would have been in Adelaide. I would have been in South Australia. Lots happened since then. I've read one of my favourite books ever. If you didn't just see. Oh my gosh, this book is so good. I can't wait to talk about it right now. But firstly, I just want to delve into quickly the couple of books I did read sort of in the middle of this vlog. So at the beginning, I read The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. I already talked about that book, really good. Once again, I've had a great reading month. It's been a few weeks. And then I read Notes on Grief by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I think I've briefly talked about this book as well in this vlog. Really great book as well. I gave it a 3 out of 5. It was my least favorite book of this month, but the fact that a 3 out of 5 is my least favorite book is still great. And it definitely got me, hey, what's up? Definitely got me into the reading mood for a bit more of Adichie. So I ended up picking up a book that I've read before by her called We Should All Be Feminists. I have this book on me, A Feminist Manifesto and 15 Suggestions, which is sort of like a follow-up. They both read like essays, like short essays. And I read We Should All Be Feminist back in 2018, and I really liked it. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I read it from the library though, I borrowed it. And I picked this one up actually as my own copy and read it and tabbed it. But then I ended up re-picking up We Shall Be Feminist because firstly I was in the mood after reading Notes on Grief. And then secondly, I had a friend's birthday and I thought it would be a good present to give him to like tab it all and then gift it to him because we do like to talk about these topics. So I ended up picking up We Shall Be Feminist and reading it, and I loved it so much more than I loved it when I read it back in 2018. In 2018, I gave it 3 out of 5, and when I recently read it, I gave it a 4 out of 5. It's such a short little read, and it's so simple, like the way she writes. You'd think potentially you're missing out on depth because it feels really simple when you read it. But I feel like the simplicity of the way she brings across her points adds more depth, and I'm able to understand her concepts
so much more easier and so much more quickly because it's so relatable as someone like me, who is a woman. And just reading it in a way where like I'm tabbing it and like highlighting stuff and noting stuff down, like sort of having a conversation with this person I gifted this book to was like a really good idea just to for me to have a good reading experience with this book. I think I'm just always blown away by Adichie and whatever she has to say, and it's so distracting. I'm just always blown away by whatever Adichie has to say. I think she's one of the most important voices currently in fiction and non-fiction, because I have read a bit of her fiction as well, but I really like her non-fiction stuff. I think I want to reread this book now. I'm just so in the mood for Adichie. But yeah, 4 out of 5, really enjoyed it. Since then, I have been reading a little bit more of Uzumaki by Junji Ito. This is the horror manga that I'm currently reading. I am actually right now halfway through. And I was going to try and finish this book for this vlog, but I ended up, we'll get to it. I got to another book instead that I was really enjoying, and I think I'm going to end the vlog with this book. But I just wanted to mention quickly, yes, Uzumaki, I have been reading it, and I'm not particularly liking it. Right now it's really feeling like a 1 or 2 stars, unfortunately, depending on how the second half goes, but it's really just going downhill for me. I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is. I prefer more suspenseful horror and psychological horror, but this is like a lot of gore and just like shock horror. I'm not really into gore and shocks. I just don't think it's for me. But I'm gonna finish it. You'll probably see it in the next vlog if I do another vlog after this one, we'll see. Or I'll be finishing it between vlogs, but there's not really much to say here. I wouldn't really recommend it, unfortunately. And it's a bit disappointing for my first Junji Ito because I know he's such a huge name in the manga horror genre. So it sort of sucks. It put me down. But then I ended up picking up this book. And this is the book of the vlog. Like, in the same sense that last vlog, Hablo Wonderland and the End of the World by Murakami was the book of the vlog. Like, that was my 5 out of 5 read. This is the 5 out of 5 read this time. I am so blown away by this book. I had a ridiculous amount of fun reading it and tabbing it once again. I think the more that I can annotate and tab a book, the more I'm gonna like it, is what I've realized. The more I can sort of have a conversation with the book, and it really gets me thinking, and it really changes my mind on things. I think a book that can make me change my mind on something is incredible, because I'm pretty steadfast sometimes in the way I think, but I also think I'm open-minded, and I like a book that sort of can communicate to me in a type of way that really opens up my mind, because I know my mind can be open. And I just absolutely loved it. I think I read this right at the correct moment in my life. I don't think if I read this any other time in my life I would have gotten so much out of it, but right now I'm just very much in a spot where what this book has to say is very needed. And I saw some reviews online, like this book has a bit of mixed reviews, and I can see that because I feel like this book, especially the way it ends, I don't know if it'd be easy to swallow for some people, but I think the mindset that I'm in at the moment and where I am in my life, I can understand how this book ends a lot better than maybe I would have at other times in my life, which is why I feel like I can understand why some people would not like the ending of this book, for instance, because maybe I wouldn't have a while ago, but I really like it now. I think it's just me sort of growing up and like becoming a bit more accepting of the complexities of this world and of my little brain. I put up a very emotional review of this book on Goodreads, so if you want to go read that, you can add me on Goodreads. I love Goodreads, I use it all the time, so please add me over there. But yeah, I put up a review like shortly after just finishing this now, where I just had to sort of like rant a little bit about how great this book is. It does sit in the genre of that, like the female void genre, you know, Sally Rooney, Sunbathing recently I read, Earthlings, like anything by Sayaka Murata, which is the last vlog I read Earthlings by her, which was really good. A lot of these books, they're about female main characters and they're sort of struggling. They're sitting in some type of limbo in life or something like that. And this book is same sort of vein. And this is easily becoming like my new favorite subgenre, like the female void. And this book and Sunbathing are my two favorites for completely different reasons. Sunbathing was so much more serious and this book is just fun. Not fun in like we're laughing and having a jolly good time, but more in a way of throwing caution to the wind. It's accepting that you're not going to be able to understand everything that's going on, I guess. That's what I got out of this book, like just giving up control and being like, whatever, this is what I want, these are my desires, I'm gonna stick to it because that's what I want. And I don't need some type of logical explanation for that. I really liked that is what this book sort of had to say. So if you're interested in anything like that, I definitely recommend this book. It is also a debut. I'm really impressed by Fishman, Lillian Fishman. I will be reading anything else she puts out for sure. Picks this book up on a whim, never heard of it before as well, so I'm just really happy because sometimes I just like go into a bookstore, I'm like, I feel like something really like whatever. Like what do I feel like? I just like look around, I have a search, pick up something that just spikes my interest, and then it's 5 out of 5. That's how it be. That's my reading month. I had 2 4 out of 4s, 1 3 out of 5, and 1 5 out of 5, which is incredible. I have a 4 out of 5 average. I am so blessed. Reading is the best, dude. Reading is so good. I love reading for this reason. The fact that I have to go now read Uzumaki is so sad. I might try and find a different book. That's it. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. I also saw Tame Impala live, so you would have seen that. Incredible. And I'm seeing Idols next week live, and I am beyond pumped. I am so excited to see Idols. Like, Tame Impala set me up to just have a blast at Idols. Like, I know what's about to happen. I know I'm just gonna, like, Idols is just like my thing right now. Like my favorite current band. Really excited about that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed some clips of Tame Impala. They were also pretty incredible. And yeah, I think that's it. I hope you have a lovely rest of October. If I can get, wait, no way I'm getting this up by the end of October. I hope you have a lovely November. It's Kira season. My birthday's in November. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. All right, see you.